Hi, I'd like to arrange for a sign language interpreter for Thursday's show. Hello. Julie and I went to Newport, Rhode Island to see the Indigo Girls. That's her favorite group. They were doing a fundraiser for Honor the Earth. And it took well over a month for this venue to find a sign language interpreter for me. And I wanted to talk a little bit about that. And by a little bit, I mean probably a lot. The venue staff that Julie talked to months in advance said that they had never had to set up an interpreter before. So the backstory is that I have a pretty low hearing impairment when I'm in ideal situations, but it's higher when I'm in public, and certainly when I'm at a concert or in front of speakers or in a stadium. I can't hear. Anyway, so they called time and time again over this couple of months to say that they were still working on it. And eventually they found somebody, and we bought the tickets and they arranged our seats. When we got there, the staff, we were able to ask any staff where our seats would be and where the interpreter would be, and the staff knew, and they actually changed our seats to make sure that we had better visibility than they had originally perceived. So they also called ahead of time to ask if we would be there for the opening act and if we would like to have an interpreter learn that group's music as well. It was Coyote Grace. So the interpreters show up, and one of them clearly knows all the lyrics, and one of them probably does not, and feels very bad about it. So what ended up happening was that the one who knew the lyrics did most of the work, and when he wasn't interpreting, he was sitting down feeding lines to the other supporting interpreter. So, he's doing, they did exhausting work, and it's hot up on stage and it's hot outside. They're thinking in two languages, they're listening to the partner interpreter, they're listening to the show, they're signing, and then they're watching the patron for line of sight maintenance. It's a very physically and intellectually demanding job. Excuse me, I'm a little sick. The Indigo Girls stopped in the middle of the show to thank the interpreters, and they shook their hands. I thought that was very classy, and they always do that. Not all performers do thank their interpreters, and I wish they did. Excuse me, the reason it's important for me to tell you this story is that there are instances where you might say, well, I did advocate and say something, but nothing came of it. Excuse me. And you just have to keep going. And sometimes it helps to just repeat the same thing. So afterward, here's what's happened. Julie got passes for us to go and meet the Indigo Girls. And this was the crowning moment of Julie's life. I think the next most exciting thing for her is going to be meeting Jesus. I told Julie it would be nice to have an interpreter sign for that too. And he hadn't left yet. So I asked the tour manager, and I said, excuse me, I was the one who needed a sign language interpreter, and I'm really grateful that you had one. I have meet and greet passes, and I would like to ask if it's okay if he joins us for that. And we did not get along well. But she said, oh, the girls are very, very specific about the number of people that they allow back to meet them. And I said, yes, but it's an ADA accommodation. I have a hearing impairment, and he's the sign language interpreter. And she reiterated, yes, but they're very, very particular, and they really are very particular about their numbers, and they don't want any extra people. So I said, even though it's an ADA federal law, and it's a reasonable accommodation, and the interpreter is 20 feet from here, and it clicked. So thank God. And she said, oh, I hear you, which I held my tongue. Um, but anyway, she heard me because I just said it twice. Sometimes that's all it takes, is just reiterating it until the person understands. So she ended up letting him in, and they let his partner and sister and some friends in, and they were able to meet the Indigo Girls, and I was able to have an interpreter. Um, and I don't think the venue paid him any extra, but I gave him my copy of their new CD, and I was very glad to have advocated, because it made a difference in my night, and then it made a difference in a lot of other people's nights. And the other thing that I did on the way out was make it a point to thank the venue staff for their accommodations, for making the difference, especially when they didn't have a prior protocol established. And they thanked me in return, saying that at least now they'll know how to do that in the future, and that it's been a fun experience. The Indigo Girls themselves said that they love when the interpreters are on stage, because they get a lot more expression out of their work. I'm tired. Of course I'm tired. I'm always tired. I always do this stuff at night. Here's the thing. A person who is hearing impaired may not feel that they're entitled to interpreter assistance because they're not completely deaf. Some people who have had restorative hearing measures may still lack the cognitive auditory processing, so the brain's ability to process auditory information. They may not have that development to interpret louder and clearer sounds. So even if you fix it mechanically, it may not necessarily relay that information, or it may not fix the problem for all situations. And then there's people who read lips, and they may find themselves hindered by the placement of the microphone in front of the performer's face. You never know what you're going to expect, and it does help to also study sign language for a little while and see, what you get. You don't necessarily have to be fluent in speaking it yourself in order to understand an interpreter. And it really, really enhances the quality of the experience. And for as much as some concerts cost, and for as far away as Rhode Island is, it was absolutely worth it to me to be able to participate fully in one of the greatest events of my wife's life, because that automatically makes it one of the greatest events in my life. God forbid I had needed help and had not bothered to learn to advocate beforehand. I would not have had anywhere near as inclusive and as exciting of an experience. If you see somebody interpreting and you're not the person who requested them, it's still okay to say thank you, because they're doing a kindness that you may need in the future. You never know. So watch your interpreters, enjoy them, and appreciate them. If you need an interpreter or you need ADA assistance, advocate for it. Try saying the same thing again. Sit yourself down for a minute and also try saying the same thing, explaining what you need in a different way. And good luck with it, and enjoy the show. Be well.